VAT is a complicated topic, but it doesn't need to be complicated. If we stick to our niche and the category we're working on and just concentrate on the VAT policies around that, it can be quite easy actually. So let's go straight into the video and let's understand VAT. If you've just started an Amazon business, I'm sure you'll have these questions in your mind. The most common questions about VAT are, do we need to register for VAT from day one? Or can we hold on? Do we need to register for VAT forever? Do we even ever need to register for VAT? And if we do, what are the options? Do I only have to go for the standard VAT rate, or are there any other options? So in this video, I'm going to break it down, make it really simple and easy for you to understand. Before I start the video, there's a disclaimer that if you want, you can read through it. I'm not a professional accountant. I'm just an Amazon seller. I've been selling on Amazon for the last 3.5 years, and I have generated over £500,000 in the last 2 years. And out of that £500,000, nearly 190,000 has just come in this year alone. Before we start anything, you need to understand that there are two things which are called input and output VAT. What input VAT is, any VAT you pay on purchases like stock, laptop, is input VAT. If you're buying a product from your supplier for, let's say, £12, that includes VAT. And of course, they'll be charging you 20% VAT on it. So the price before VAT works out £10. And then out of that £10, £2 is the VAT we have paid. So that works out, the total input VAT is £2. And let's look at another example. Let's say if you buy a computer for your office and you've paid £1,200 for it. So before VAT, it's £1,000 and you've paid £200 VAT on it. And that's £200 is your input VAT. So even you're not VAT registered, when you're buying things, you're still paying VAT as a customer. So let's say if you hire an accountant, charges you £600 for the services, price before VAT is £500 because we're taking the 20% off, so the VAT works out about £100, and so the £100 is your input VAT. So I'm sure that's quite straightforward, and now you understand it. And now let's look into output VAT. Output VAT is the VAT you charge on the goods and services you sell. So let's sample, when you sell something on Amazon or online marketplace for, let's say, £60, so means you are actually, it has VAT included in it. So the price before VAT is £50, and that means the VAT we charge the customer is £10. So £10 is the output VAT. So input VAT is the VAT we pay as a customer, and output VAT is the VAT we collect as a seller. So I hope that's quite easy and simple to understand. So if you've just started an Amazon business or any online business and your sales are under £90,000 in the last 12 months, you don't need to register for any VAT. If your sales never go beyond £90,000 in a 12-month rolling period, you never need to register for VAT. So let's say if you started a business in April 2023, you're going to have to look into April 2024 and work out that if you've hit the £90,000 or not. And if you've not hit the £90,000, then you don't need to register for it. And then when you go to May 2024, you need to look at May 2023 to May 2024, that if you've hit 90,000. So it's like a 12-month window you should look for to work out that do you need to register for VAT or not, if you've hit 90,000 sales or not. And this scheme is only for sellers who are based in the UK. So if you are someone living in Germany or France and open a company in UK, you have to register VAT, and you can't go for this scheme. It's only for the directors who are based in the UK. So that's something really important to understand, because if you do that, HMRC can come back to you later down the road, can come back after a few years and ask you to pay all the backdated VAT, and this could be a huge bill. So this is one thing you need to understand. Another thing you need to remember is the VAT threshold is on the sales. Again, a lot of people think that's on the profit. No, that's not on the profit. That's on the sales. That's like the revenue you generate. So 90,000, it's a revenue. If you have generated 90,000 revenue, over the last 12 months, then you need to register for VAT. So what happens? Let's say if you've hit the £90,000, and then what do? You've got two options. You've got flat rate scheme. You can go for, or there is another scheme, a standard rate scheme, which is a common scheme, which is 20% VAT. A lot of people know about. So what are these two schemes? Let's break them down. Let's start with flat rate scheme first. So flat rate scheme, there are different percentages for different categories. If you go on HMRC website, just type flat rate scheme, and it'll give you a breakdown of each and every category. For this channel is all about e-commerce and Amazon in the UK. So for e-commerce, the VAT percentage is 7.5%. And also HMRC has given a discount on the first year. So first year you'll pay 6.5% VAT, and then after that you'll be paying 7.5% VAT on your total revenue. One of the drawbacks of this scheme is that you can't claim any input VAT. So let's say that's like we were talking about earlier. Like if you bought office furniture for £1,200 and you have paid £200 VAT on it, you're not allowed to claim it. You can't claim that VAT. So it's quite a simple scheme, and it's the reason for that is to simplify VAT. So let's say end of the year, every quarter, whatever you've generated, you just pay 7.5% VAT of that, and that's it. So it's a lot less paperwork because you're not claiming anything, so you're not keeping any proof of. You don't need to really keep any proofs on stuff. It's good to keep it, but you don't have to. And there's a lot less paperwork, and there's a lot less accountancy in it. So it's quite a simplified VAT scheme. And then, so you can join the flat rate scheme if your taxable turnover is under 150,000. So let's say if you've crossed the 90,000, but you know that you're not going to cross the 150,000 mark, then you can go for. But if you believe that over the next 12 months I will go over £150,000, then you need to go on the standard VAT scheme. You can't go for the flat rate scheme. And once you are on this scheme and you have crossed over £230,000 in the 12-month window, then you have to join the standard rate scheme. You can't stay on the. So this is quite a confusing thing. This is straight from the HMRC website. So just to make it easier, let's say you've crossed the £90,000. Now you've got two options: either go on flat rate scheme or standard rate scheme. And once you've crossed the £90,000, looking at your sales and looking at your data, you think you are going to be selling more than £150,000, then you can't go in the flat rate scheme. You have to go straight to the standard rate scheme. But if you think that you're going to be staying under £150,000, then you can go over the flat rate scheme. And once you are on the flat rate scheme, even you've crossed £150,000, you don't need to leave the flat rate scheme. You can still stay on it as long until you hit the 230,000 mark. And then once you've hit past the £230,000 in the 12-month window, then you'll need to register for the standard VAT rate scheme. There's more information on the HMRC website if you want to go and look at it, but this is quite a simple way to understand it. So this is the formula I've worked out for if you want to work out how much VAT you need to pay. So if you have if you get your sales, divide them by 1.075, and then what the sales you get minus the total sales, and you get the VAT, how much VAT you need to pay. So let's say example, if you've generated £100,000, divide that by 1.75, that works out £93,023.26, and then take off your total sale, which was 100,000, and then the VAT you get is 6.976, 6,976.74. So a lot of people think that if you've generated £100,000 sale, you need to pay 7.5 £100,000 tax because that's 7.5%. So we're not adding the tax, we're paying whatever tax is included in the 100,000, not on top of it. So if you've done £100,000 sale, the tax, 7.5% tax included in the £100,000 is works out about £6,976. So now let's look into the standard rate scheme. A standard scheme is a 12% VAT rate, and you can claim all the input VAT. So let's say we talked about the office chair. So if you bought an office chair or office furniture for £1,200 and you've paid £200 tax on it, once you're doing your VAT return, you'll be able to put that £200 in that VAT return, and then you can claim that VAT £200 back. And then the formula to work out the VAT on standard rate is again the same as the sales, divided by 1.2. Then what you get is your sales before VAT, and then you minus that sales by your total sales, and you get the VAT. So let's example £100,000 again, and if you divide that by 1.2, so 20% of that included in that 100,000, it works out about 83,333.33, and take that 100,000 off it, and that works out 16,600. This is the 20% VAT which was included in the 100,000, not 20% on top of it. Now you'll be able to deduct all the input VAT and only pay the remaining amount to HMRC. Now this could be under 7.5%. Now this depends on your individual circumstances and your business model. This is why it's really important to understand this, because it seems straightforward to just go straight into 7.5% VAT rate scheme, because why would you pay 20% when you can only pay 7.5%? But that's not how it works, because you can't claim any VAT on the 7.5%, where you can claim all the VAT back on the 7.5%. So if you've got a business model where you're paying a lot of VAT on, then you might look into go straight into standard rate scheme, where you can claim a lot of VAT back, and you could be paying less than 7.5%. Where in the flat rate scheme, you'll pay straight flat 7.5, and you can't claim any input VAT. And so the example for that is that, say if you got £100,000 sales, and you have to divide that by 1.2, you get so sales before VAT is £83,333.33, and you take that off to your total sale, and that gives you the total VAT you have paid over the £100,000 sale. And like I was saying earlier, if you have a lot of input VAT, and that works out 6,666. Let's say if you've got £10,000 input VAT, that works out 6,666. So which is now less than 7.5%. So it's all depend on your business model. So let's say if you are, this channel is all about private label business, where we actually don't have that much input VAT to claim. So it could be worth looking into going to 7.5% scheme. But if you are on like a wholesale model, where you're buying a lot of bulk items from the local UK suppliers, and they all will charge you 20% VAT, there you might want to look into going straight into the standard rate scheme, where you could be actually paying less than 7.5% VAT. Now let's look at the next slide, where I have the profit breakdown. And profit breakdown, so how does it work out being on a different schemes? So let's say that you are a non-VAT registered company, and you've sold a product for £12, and that product has cost you £3, and let's say the FBA fees on that product is £2, and the referral fee on that is 15%, which Amazon charges a flat 15% referral fees on your revenue, on your sale price. So that works out £1.80 on the £12, and Amazon will also charge you VAT on top of the fees and the FBA fees. So if you add them up together, that works about 76 pence VAT on the fees and the referral fees and the FBA fees. And then, so the VAT paid on selling price, of course, we're not going to pay any VAT because we are not VAT registered. And then we're not allowed to claim VAT back because, again, we are not VAT registered, and we're not allowed to claim any VAT on our cost of goods. So that works out our profit to £4.44, and it gives us a total margin of 37%. So now let's look at a different scenario. Let's say now you're on a flat rate scheme, and you're selling the same product for £12, and your cost of goods is still the same, £3, and your FBA fees, referral fees, and the VAT is all the same. But this time, the VAT you're going to pay on your selling price is 7.5%. So 7.5% included in £12 works out about 84 pence. You can go back in the video and look at the formula I've talked about earlier to work out the VAT. And then, so 84 pence we're going to pay VAT on the £12. We're not allowed to claim anything back, and that gives us a profit of £3.60, and the margin is 30%. Now if we are on the standard rate scheme, and we are paying again this where the revenue is £12, the cost of goods is £3, FBA fees is the same, referral fees is the same, the VAT Amazon charges are still the same, but this time we're going to pay £2. From that £12 is the 20% VAT, and then but this time we're allowed to claim the VAT back. So the VAT we're going to claim on the fees is 76 pence. We're going to deduct that from the £2. Also, we're going to deduct the 50 pence which we have paid on the cost of goods. So if you bought something for £3, you have paid 20% VAT on it, and that works out 50 pence. So now we're going to deduct all that, and then what's profit left after all this is actually £3.70. So that's 30.83%. So it's slightly better, 10p better being on the standard rate scheme than being on a flat rate scheme. The reason is that we're allowed to claim that 50 pence back on our cost of goods, which we weren't able to do that before. Even we were only paying 84 pence VAT on the £12. Let's look at another scenario where you are a VAT registered, but you can't claim any VAT on your cost of goods. So then you can't get that 50 pence back. That brings your profit down to £3.20, and that's 26.67% profit margin. So if you are not sourcing from the UK, or if you are not sourcing a product from a company who is VAT registered, or if you're buying items from China where you're not able to claim any VAT back on it, in this situation, you're actually worse off being on a standard rate scheme, because your profit is 40 pence less than being on a flat rate scheme. But like again I said earlier, if you are sourcing product from a supplier who is VAT registered and you're paying them VAT, then it might be better to look into being on a standard rate scheme, because then you're actually better off, 10 pence better off than being on the flat rate scheme. So these are the different scenarios. This is all depend on your own situation. So work it all out. I hope this is cleared all the questions and made it really simple. I tried to make it as simple as possible. In the next coming video, I will be talking about what other taxes we need to know about. So there is corporation tax, there is dividend tax, there's income tax, there's other taxes. I'm going to break them all down and make it really easy to understand them all. And also I'm going to talk about like how to pay as less tax as possible legally. There are a lot of ways we can reduce our tax bill, and a lot of people miss out on that. So I will be sharing more videos on that. So please like, subscribe, and share this channel. I'm going to share a lot of actionable insight on this channel, which you can go and apply to your business and get instant results. Before I end this video, if you are looking for an accountant, I personally use an accountant called Awesome. I've been using them for nearly 2 years, and the service has been amazing. I've not had any complaints. I have had no issues with them whatsoever. They are not sponsoring or anything this video. This is my own personal recommendation because I use them, and I like to only promote products that I use. If you are a new business and you're trying to save some money, the price is pretty competitive. As low as £71 a month, you can join them, which is pretty good for an accountant, and they're available 24/7 for you. So if you are interested in looking for an accountant, I have dropped a link in the description. You can click on that link and book a call with one of their rep, and they will be able to help you with any questions or anything regarding VAT or accounting. If you join them using my link, I will get a small kickback from that. So that will really help this channel to grow. Hope you found this video informative. I would like to hear any feedback you have, anything you didn't understand, anything else you want me to talk about. So please drop a comment down, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.